Hi, I'm Dawn and this is where Shabby meets Bling. Tonight, we're going rustic. You are watching Rustic Wednesday, but on Saturday? Yes, Saturday. I'd like to thank my co-host Shelly from Repurposed My Way. You're going to find the link to her channel in this fabulous playlist with a lot of other wonderful creators in my description box below. I'm going to use these balloon sticks and these hair rollers to create these. These are cattail and they grow wild here. I don't know in what other parts of the country they grow in, but I'm going to try to recreate these beauties. With these balloon sticks and some heavy gauge wire, I will be creating the stem of my cattail. And this will also make them bendable, which is a really cool thing because as you saw, they really bend beautifully in the wind. So I am feeding some wire up through my balloon stick until it comes out the other side. I need to feed enough through to accommodate the actual pointy part of the cattail at the top, and I need enough at the bottom that I can use that part to stab, to stick, to put into my styrofoam because these will be going into a container. Then I'm going to be taking one of those hair rollers and disassembling it first. It kind of consists of two buttons. I mean, they really do look like little buttons, and a piece of wire in the middle to hold them together so that they bend around. Well, I'm going to be replacing that wire with, as you saw, the wire that I just fed through the balloon stick. So this comes out, and then I take my balloon stick and I work it up through that little roller, that little pink roller. I make sure to work the stick all the way to the top as well for more stability, so the whole cavity inside that roller will be filled. I don't want my cattail to be all the same height, so I am taking some of the balloon sticks and I'm going to marry them together with some wire and 3-in-1 glue. And this way I will have some shorter cattail and some longer cattails. But once I get them together, I will just bond them together with 3-in-1 glue and continue the process of making my cattail. Where the two balloon sticks came together, I am going to add just a little bit of a joint compound to kind of make that little transition a little more smooth. So it doesn't take much, and I'm just using my finger to do so. Now we need to achieve the shape of that cattail, because right now it just looks like a roller on a stick. And that won't do. So I busted out my wood burning tool and I just put a flat-headed attachment on. I am just rounding that edge just ever so slightly so it has the curved appearance of a cattail. Now it's time to paint. I am just painting the little cattail part of it at this point, not the stem. I am painting it truffle. It is a chalk paint by Waverly, and I love this color. It's just a pretty, pretty brown. Very, very pretty. And I will be painting all of this ugly pink of the roller in this truffle brown. And I'm not worried if I hit any of the stem or that top part at this point, because this is just a base coat. Now to address our stems, I am sanding the little joint that I made earlier with that joint compound, and I'm sanding it smooth. And while I'm at it, I am going to sand the entire stem, all in the same direction. So that way I am creating texture to the stem. On close inspection, it will not only look like a real stem, but feel like it as well. Plus, it gives my stick the ability to hold paint just a little bit better. Now our stems and the little pokety poke thing at the top get a coat of paint as well. This is Cashew Chalk Paint by Waverly. And I am giving a coat on all of my stems and all the pokety pokes. And if anybody knows what those little pokety poke things at the top are called, if anything, if they even have a name, let me know in the comments. I'm going to let the knowledgeable ones out there let me know what they are. I will finish all of my stems with this beautiful cashew. And once they're dry, all the way dry, I will be adding a wash of hazelnut over top of them to give them a little more depth and dimension and make them look a little more real. Since real cattails feel fuzzy, they feel like they've been flocked, I am going to flock my cattails. If you want to see how I make my flocking substance, check out my video, Shabby Chic Fallen Halloween Decor, and I'll leave that link in the description box for you. I will be using the same paint that I used for that first coat as a bonding agent for my flocking powder. And I am coating it really well. You want this pretty darn thick because you want to get as much of that flocking on there as you can. Once you get it coated, you're going to sprinkle thoroughly the flocking powder onto the cattail. Coat it nice and thick, do not miss any areas, and then let it dry once again thoroughly, completely. Now that it is completely dry, we have one more step before we put our wash on our stem, and that's to get all the excess flocking powder off of our cattail, and you're just brushing it off. But just make sure you get it all, and you could probably even use a paintbrush to do this, but I just chose to use my finger to dust it off. Here you get a look at a real one and a fake one, my fakey fake. It's a little bit darker, but you will see them all different shades out there in the wild. Ooh. Take a look at this beauty. She's big and she's cool and she's got some weight to it. This is a nice wire basket. I picked it up for $3.49 at Goodwill. Or did I? No, I did not. It was a pink sticker day and I got it for half that, so like $1.75. I am going to create a rust finish on this beauty. I'm going to do an enhanced, an upgrade, a beefy mega rust. I'm using eggshells. Yeah, that's right, I'm using eggshells. I have been saving these for a while and I'm going to put them to use right now. So I'm going to dump them into a glass bowl and then I'm going to proceed to crush them into much smaller bits, little flakes like rust would be. I painted my wire basket with a brown Rust-Oleum spray paint. So that way it has a nice base, and now I am using an apple barrel paint. And you can use any brown you want because at this point it doesn't matter. We're just using it so that we can stick our little eggshells on. You probably could use Mod Podge if you would like to as well. I would try to use matte Mod Podge because there is no glossy sheen in rust, and even matte has a little bit of a sheen, let's face it. But I am adhering all of my little shells, and then the areas that I added shells I will encapsulate in that brown spray paint one more time before I go to my next step. Now that we have the big chunky flaky rust pieces on our wire basket, it's time to add the fine dusty rusty the fine rust dust, so to speak. And I am using a different paint this time to apply my mixture. This mixture is the same mixture I used in my Halloween decor video. I will leave the link for that video in my description box. This is not cinnamon. It's cinnamon plus. It gives more of a look with the different colors that are in real rust. So I really like this combo, and I am just going to add it on top of my big rust flakes and in some other areas as well. I will not spray paint this again. I'm just going to let my rust stand as is. That beautiful color up against that darker brown is just marvelous. I think rust is beautiful. I think it's absolutely gorgeous and in the right places. in the right places. So we're going to finish rusting this, and then we're going to do a little arrangement. I did a little roadside shopping, and I picked, actually I cut, I didn't pick. I don't ever pull anything out by the root along the road. If something's growing wild, you never want to disturb its roots. That way it can continue to grow and be beautiful for everyone to see. And I cut some grass alongside of the road, and I'm going to be incorporating it into my arrangement. I found these little guys as well, these little reeds. Aren't they beautiful? I am really curious to see how they're going to dry. Now, here is one of my real cattails that I picked and I cut. And you can see how they're starting to blow already. They are starting to go to seed, and when they do, it is crazy. You can preserve these, but it's difficult to do so. So I'm going with my fake. I picked up these 2 bags of rando fabric while I was resale shopping, $3 a bag. There is so much fabric in these bags, it's not funny. I got for $3 what I probably would have spent maybe $30 in a fabric store, and that's no joke. Even if it was on sale, there is so much fabric here. I'm going to use some of this in my arrangement as well. One last item, I grabbed this thing at a garage sale. This was at that really ridiculously cool garage sale I went to. And I'm going to be using the 3 clips that are already rusted, beautifully rusted, on my little basket, my little wire basket. I'm also going to incorporate some real pumpkins. Remember our balloon sticks? Well, this is the top of the balloon stick, and I'm going to use it and some floral picks to place my real pumpkins inside my arrangement. I will be putting 3 pumpkins, odd number, in my little arrangement. I will hot glue the floral pick inside that little indentation right there where the balloon stick would go, and then place it inside my arrangement. Here we have my wire basket, and there's my fabric inside, and that is some scrap foam that I always keep for just occasions like this, and then I will construct my beautiful arrangement inside. All of my projects are complete. Let's take a look. But first, here's a rust update. This sphere was something I created a couple of Rustic Wednesday videos ago, and if you remember, it didn't look too darn rusty. Well, look at her now. This has been 2 months since she's been in the rusting bucket, and now she's ready to be displayed outside where she can continue to rust in a natural environment. So what started out as a balloon stick and a hair roller turned into cattail, and there they are. Pretty believable, aren't they? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's check out our rusty, crusty, beautiful, simply gorgeous wire basket. You're going to see chunks on there, chunks of rust. Look at that. You're not going to achieve that with just a powder. You're going to have to add something chunky behind that powder to get the look of real rust coming apart. And how about the garland created by those strips of fabric? That inexpensive, beautiful gingham fabric. I am using 3 patterns with stability. They're geometrics. They are a gingham, but they're different sizes. So by changing the scale of my patterns and putting them on different planes, it is a super great way to add interest. Let's look at our arrangement. You can see how even though those pumpkins are real and they have weight to them, they are in there very secure. Very secure. And now for the stars of our show. There are my cattail. And I hid a real one amongst the faux ones, and if you can pick it out, you let me know, because I don't think you know which one's real, which one's not. I'm very happy with them, and to think it was a balloon stick and a hair roller. And now I have beautiful cattail that will not seed all over my house in the fall, and I can keep them forever. And here I have it displayed with that other basket that I turned into a rusty dream. And that piece up front is from an old organ that I got for free off of Marketplace and disassembled. And isn't it cute just sitting there with all my rustic lovelies? Some more real pumpkins, some tattered burlap, more strips of that fabulous gingham, and a rusty candlestick. All for fall. Thanks again to Shelly for joining me on this Rustic Wednesday, but on Saturday. You're going to find the link to her channel as well as this playlist in my description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, share it with your family and friends, anyone that likes fall, Halloween, DIYs, or just beautiful decor. You can follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to check out my shop on Etsy. Ring the bell for notifications of all my upcoming videos. Leave me a comment. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a fabulous way to support my channel. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.